Yes, guys, we are finally back. We finally made it to another reaction on this YouTube platform, brothers and sisters. Welcome to the one and only Brbptv. Be real, be positive television, brothers and sisters, and I will be dropping another one on the Mr. Licks reaction, guys. So tune in for the vibrations a bit later on. I know I actually indicated yesterday I was gonna be doing a live, brothers and sisters, but I realized that Dr. Thompson Fountain is actually gonna be having a live pretty much around the same time that I would have had the live, so I decided to forego my live so that pretty much people can get the vibrations, and most likely I might end up doing a live on his live in the first place. So we will see how that goes as time goes by, brothers and sisters, but I won't be doing another video, so it's only 2 videos, this one and the next Mr. Licks react channel, to definitely get a video right there, brothers and sisters. Without a further ado, don't forget, brothers and sisters, to hit that like button. Hit that like button, of course, helping the algorithm to push these videos further and further. So don't forget, brothers and sisters, to click the thumbs up button, and of course subscribe, that of which to help the channel grow indeed, and of course so you'll be notified when I drop all my videos right there and then, when I pretty much give a number of things which I think a number of persons definitely need to hear in that regard right there. Without further ado, brothers and sisters, let us get into the vibrations for today. Clean white teeth. Yes sir. But brothers and sisters, yes, of course what we're seeing right there is none other than something rather interesting, for which I want to pinpoint what exactly is going on actually right there, brothers and sisters. So I think about a few days ago, it seems like the Dominica Breaking News apparently carried out some information that individuals who owe the Convent Preparatory School need to take a serious note at, brothers and sisters. And of course indicated right there, the Convent Preparatory School, like any other institution or business, has fixed monthly obligations, for which they talk about paying teachers and principals, and I'm guessing the maintenance of the school, but they have fixed monthly obligations to meet, brothers and sisters. Unfortunately, for the past 2 months, the school has been unable to meet these obligations due to a significant number of unpaid fees, brothers and sisters. Currently, over 174 students have outstanding fees for this term, not to mention unresolved lesson fees dating back as far as September, brothers and sisters. So I want you guys to understand this. Do you guys understand what I'm saying right there? What is being stated right there? It is not saying 1 or 2 students, 3, 4, 10, 20, 30, 50 students. 100. They don't say 100 students are owing fees, brothers and sisters. They say about 174 students are owing fees. What does that tell you, brothers and sisters? Doesn't that tell you that something is going wrong where 174 students, or the parents that of which are pretty much paying the school fees for the students, are not being able to meet these obligations? Why? That is a good question to ask, brothers and sisters. Why is that? We're going to be breaking that down a bit, brothers and sisters, but one thing I can definitely tell you, it has a lot to do with the economy, brothers and sisters. Economies of scale is important. How the money circulates, if there's money to circulate within the country. If not, well, these kind of things are happening right there. Not only does the Prime Minister apparently doesn't seem to have much money, as indicated by them, but apparently the people within the economy don't seem to have the funds to even pay their school, their offspring's school fees. That's interesting right there, brothers and sisters. So how is this going to be solved? I think it'll be solved on the basis of the economy doing well, and therefore, this can actually elevate right there. But brothers and sisters, before I get into the whole thing, I must make something, a mention of something that I think a number of persons need to know about right there. The Dominica Public Service Union, keep in mind, brothers and sisters, the Prime Minister increased their salaries by a whopping 30 to 50% from my understanding. I thought it was just 30%. I remember seeing the thing, it was about 28%, and I think the Prime Minister must have received about 40% or something of that sort. But anyways, Lennox Linton pretty much broke it down for us, indicating that the parliamentarians received a bonus raise, monthly bonus raise on their salaries, brothers and sisters, of $2,300. That's just the raise. All right. And the Prime Minister is said to have received $4,000 raised on his already big salary, brothers and sisters. Interesting. So the Dominica Public Service Union has decided, and brothers and sisters, it's interesting, as I'm watching this thing right there, I realize that everything seems to be tying with each other. So apparently these individuals, the parents, may not have significant or sufficient funds to be able to meet the obligations of the Convent Preparatory School. And it doesn't seem to be one school. There seems to be that sentiment across the board in a number of places. Just that, you know, I'm guessing that they are better able to handle it than others. But there's a big problem here, brothers and sisters. And of course, inflation and everything like that, which I tried to explain to people. Even though you see a 2% increase in your salary does not mean, not 2% in your, well, that's that. 2% in your salary does not mean much. Especially if the inflation is higher than what you're getting. This is why I'm happy to Dr. Thompson Fountain pretty much pointed out that very same sentiment right there. It has been indicated that on the normal curve it'll go down to about, inflation was about 2.3. I think it was 9.7. It went down to 2.3 from our understanding, which means that even the monies in your bank or the salary increase that you got of 2%, that doesn't mean nothing because you are still falling behind time. And that is just the understanding of present time as a result of the Rona situation. Not the whole thing, you know, brothers and sisters. Inflation value goes up and down, and then it comes down to a pivotal point where you're looking at it. I was actually talking to an individual who was part of the Skerrit's team, media team. And we were talking about the basis of seeing vehicles disappear. Like, let's say you are in a particular area, you're in a business place where they sell vehicles. And he's talking about in the next 4 months, what if we see these vehicles, next 4 months, he's willing to bet that all these vehicles are going to disappear. So I say, nothing wrong with thinking that all these vehicles are going to disappear. But the question is, and then I ask him, he mentioned about 4 months. So I tell him, what about 6 months and 8 months? What about the 6 months and 8 months? Do you think that the people who take these vehicles will be able to constantly pay what they have to pay so that they maintain keeping the vehicles out? How many of the vehicles do you know is going to actually come back there? You mentioned about 4 months, give or take, that the vehicles are going to disappear. But for the long run, will they constantly be able to pay for these vehicles to stay out of the lot? Which is interesting. When you look at 4 months, you will say, hey, great things are happening, wow. But then when you look at the long run, it is the same thing with the 2.3% inflation. You look at a small point, I'm guessing from 2000 to 2004 on that basis right there. But what about from 2020 to 2024? What about 2000 to 2020? What about the years 2000 to 2020? What about the inflation values within that time, for which seems to have been gonna notice? So just like when you have deficit, brothers and sisters, the country sank about 16% or whatever it is, and then you have to build back up. So just because you see a 4.5 increase, it means you are still in the negative. Because if you drop by 16%, you are negative 16. If there's an economic growth of 4.5%, brothers and sisters, that means you're at 11.5. You are still negative 11.5. So it's very interesting how you're looking at these things right there, brothers and sisters. So maybe there's a reason why there's a need for the meeting right there, brothers and sisters. And of course, we will see what that is. Of course, they sent this letter about 2 days ago. An announcement: the Dominica Public Service Union is requesting the attendance of all public sector employees to a general meeting on Thursday, 28th March 2024 at 4:30 p.m. to discuss salary increase, gratuity, job classification, non-established workers, and appointments, among other issues right there. So pretty much salary increases, gratuity payments, upward mobility, tuition up for education, appointments, unnecessary appointments, interesting salary adjustments, cabinet versus employees. Remember, they took a big salary, so even though they give you 2% or whatever that increase is, brothers and sisters, whereas they taking about 20 to 50%, whichever it is, brothers and sisters, and you get 2%, they meeting the obligation of inflation, not you. And even if they were to say, oh, you know what, collectively from the year 2000 to 2024, brothers and sisters, there was the inflation value per year, pretty much going about, let's say, up to 9 or 5, brothers and sisters, 5. Even 2024, they're giving you an increase of 20%, right? You have to calculate during that time frame the average 5. If it's 5 and your salary was not increasing, that means your money has been dropping by 5% every year. So if they give you inflation, brother, if they give you salary increase and it doesn't meet to the criteria of inflation per year, you are still at a loss. You are still at a loss. Still at a loss. The Prime Minister them increased their salaries twice. With the one is 50% and the other one is ranging between 30%. That is 80%. So if it's 5% per year, brothers and sisters, you know what that means? They are more adequately able to handle with their salaries, whereas you are not. That's why I keep mentioning about the banks. Even though you put your money in the bank and you say, oh, let me put my money constantly, I put in $500 in the bank every month. $500 in the bank every month. That means if there's an inflation value of 3% and you say, oh, I'm going to get 2% at the end of the year, brothers and sisters, you are going to lose out, even though you see your money value increase. Anyways, brothers and sisters, let's continue right there. So this might be a reason why this is necessary, brothers and sisters. Maybe the workers or the individuals involved in this right there, the parents, are not able to meet the obligations because they have not met the qualifications that of which their salaries can compensate to be able to do these things right there, brothers and sisters. Very interesting in that regard right there. So they will be meeting on Thursday 28th, where they didn't say where, at the Dominica Public Service Union, brothers and sisters, at 4:30 p.m. So they want everybody. They're going to be talking about the state of the economy and everything else that you've seen right there. I think it's vital because Dominican people need to also be able to be on top the inflation value. Okay, so I want people to keep that in mind. But apparently, brothers and sisters, we have this individual right there, and he's going to break down what I've been saying for you guys right there. Take a listen.
Yes, I believe the government has done a lot.
I don't know who's putting the audio behind this, but we'll go through it.
I give kudos to the government. It has done a lot. But you see, a lot that does.
But who are doing that then? Voice enhance.
It has done a lot. But you see, a lot that does not continue to bring an economic survival to a people.
I'm happy that he's saying that. He says that the Dominican government has done a lot. That is based off his opinion, right? He thinks the Dominican government has done a lot, but what they are doing apparently is not in the basis of elevating the people at all. For example, if you're building roads, nice roads, yes, you get to drive on the roads. You see the infrastructure, nice. Just like the hospital, we see in the hospital, nice building, everything, but the service of the hospital sucks. It sucks. So although you see in a nice building, oh yes, they build great buildings, thank you so much, it looks nice. But when it comes down to the service, it is not there. The very same sentiment that is mentioned, he says that the government has done a lot, but what the government has done a lot has nothing to do with the benefit of the people. You build roads, you build buildings, nice. How does that benefit the people? Absolutely not. To benefit the people, you have to look at things like where you are situated. Of course, Dominica being the place that you're situated at present, so you look at building, looking into agricultural things. Agriculture for the first basis, I think that's the way forward for Dominica. And any economist you speak to will tell you agriculture is the way forward for Dominica. You build factories and those kind of things, so surplus can come into the country and help the people. You don't build roads, they can drive on roads, that's nice, but it doesn't benefit the people at all.
It's like nothing is being done.
Yep.
Infrastructures.
But what is that for me now?
These roads and everything, schools, all these are important. These are necessary things that is needed.
Yes, the infrastructure is definitely needed. No doubt about it. But when it doesn't benefit the people, we see nice buildings. It's like they're building homes for people. We build homes for people. We destroy the economy. The people are not able to build their homes. We build home for them. And we have been looking to see how we can make them employed. And if we are looking to make them employed, we are giving them the minimum, most lowest value that they can possibly get, aka NEP. How does that help the people? It doesn't.
But when our people, and I say when our people cannot eat, when our people cannot feed the hungry children properly, and to educate them.
That's why we come back to this, brothers and sisters. Like I stated, this is not just one or two people, students or parents, you know. This is 174 students.
Food, eating is the most essential. Eating is the most essential thing in life. Clothing, you can do anything with clothing. You don't want to go and buy expensive clothes.
That's true. That's very true indeed.
But eating,
food security is necessary, brothers and sisters. I keep hearing them mention about food security, and we're not seeing absolutely nothing happening as a result of that. All we're seeing is Dominica being traded outside so that the outside world can do better, especially in the Caribbean. The outside world can do much better than Dominica itself, because we're importing all kind of things that we actually have, and then we're selling it on our shelves, and then we exporting the very outside country's products to our family and friends. I know, I've been there. Sorrel. Looking for local sorry, didn't get local sorry, brothers and sisters. They have Jamaican sorrel here. I have to buy the package. My family want the Caribbean sorrel. Buy Jamaican sorrel. Bring it overseas for them. When Dominica can make sorrel.
The state of the country, when it comes to food, there is no price control.
That's true. That's something I noticed as well. Because I remember there was a particular time when I came back to Dominica. I think the second time when I came back. Second or third? No, the first time, brother. See, when I came back on the first time, I noticed price increase. I come back. I check them out with a while. That price used to be that. Maybe I was delusional, brothers and sisters. Within the second time, brothers and sisters, within a span, I think it was a month, brothers and sisters, I saw price changing in, oh boy, that is something else. I saw price changing. Different shops have different prices, brothers and sisters, but the prices kept changing over. And it's like every week price is changing.
I mean, this is what had really motivated me. That's what really getting me angry right now. To see that people cannot eat. People cannot eat. It's not about...
It's not that people cannot eat, brothers and sisters. There's also the thing of trying to produce food at a rate that is not healthy to the people. In other words, you are force ripening stuff. It doesn't take its normal time to absorb the proper nutrients. You are force ripening stuff, and then you are also making, like, quote unquote fake fruits, so to speak. Because when you force ripe this stuff, you also want to be able to keep these things to last long. So you inject them with all sorts of things, or put something in the soil or whatever, so that these things can last long. I remember I had a tomato, and the tomato, you would swear the tomato just peak. That was a month later, brothers and sisters. I say, what? I never buy it from that person again. So every time I buy tomatoes from a particular individual, I leave one of the tomatoes there to see what happens to it. And if I know that tomato is at the end of like a week or something, a week and a half, I see it start to, I say, okay, well, that's fine. Because when you leave it in the fridge, it kind of preserves it for a little bit or whatever. But a month, my goodness, come on.
Not making money. Well, you're not making enough money. The things are so expensive. People sell things how they want in that country.
Man is trying to adapt to the system because they know the economy is not conducive to help them. So therefore, they try to put the burden on the people. It seems like everything is resorting to the people because the shop owners most likely have to pay more taxes. They have to pay a VAT or whatever it is, brothers and sisters. First of all, I never truly understood the sentiment why people are paying taxes on their salaries when it's above a certain amount, and then when you go out, you have to then pay taxes on the products that you buy. That means you are getting double tax, which means your 100 value. Your $100 doesn't actually value $85 at all if it's the VAT on it, because the $100 value, if you go and buy something in the store and it says it's $1 and your money has already been taxed, you get $85, you go and buy something for $1, that person has to pay VAT, brothers and sisters, which means that you have another 15% coming up from that money, which you have to give to the government. And that is something else. Have you ever thought of that?
All sorts of ridiculous and mad prices.
I'm not gonna lie, I agree that. But then again, sometimes when goods and products come into Dominica, they have to pay a high price at customs. So that is another situation that is weighing down on the people. So even if they have to come to sell it in the stores, sometimes you guys might say, oh, it's 3 and 4 and 5 and 10 times higher than the rest. Sometimes people tend to exaggerate. But then customs also charges a heavy price on people as well. So when they have to come and sell this stuff, they have to buy it, they have to make back their money, they have to pay off clear customs and the shipping and all those kind of things there on the product that they buy, and they have to make a profit on it. Plus your salary is getting taxed. And then you have to pay for the substances that is already at a high price, plus VAT going on it again. That is something else.
Or prices, sorry. Right?
And keep in mind, you're paying taxes on the pot too, you know. You pay taxes on the pot. Then they bring in this stuff in the shop and you have to put taxes on it so the government can get more. Boy, that is truly something else.
It's time what they want. It's time I am calling on my government.
Well, the government not going to do nothing now, because your government has killed the country. He has killed the economy. This is why you have to build houses. And when people say, oh, houses are being built, oh, development is taking place. Brothers and sisters, you do not base development on infrastructure. You base development on the elevation of the people. That is what you do. Look at the hospital. We have nice looking hospital. The hospital are nothing. You still have to get flown overseas for it to do proper. There are people in Dominica that have taken insurance so that they can be flown overseas, you know, brothers and sisters. Not to utilize the hospital. Even though our hospital looks nice. They have taken insurance so they can fly overseas if anything has to happen to them. There are people who have insurance in other countries, paying insurance in other countries, and they're living in Dominica. They're paying insurance for medical care in other countries. So if anything has to happen to them, they fly to that country for them to participate in that of which they have elevated when it comes to insurance. So they participate outside, even though there's a nice looking hospital building. Why, brothers and sisters? Why? It boils back to the same thing that this individual was saying. You see nice buildings, you see things are going up. But when it comes on to the people, how do the people benefit? They don't benefit at all. You see big buildings coming up, they don't benefit. Another thing, one of the folks were telling me, hey, the vehicles, there's a lot of vehicles. Brothers and sisters, if you look at a lot of vehicles, you notice they have T's on them, right? They have T's. So most of these T's vehicles are being leased or rented out to persons. There's also another dilemma that we are seeing, because we notice, how come Jeeps have F? I've seen it myself. I think, how come a Jeep have F? F is for farmers, brothers and sisters. What a Jeep doing with F? Not vans and this kind of things that can be utilized in farming industry that they think. But no, brothers and sisters, Jeeps have F. Because they get it at a lesser rate for agriculture. But most times these people don't use the vehicles for agriculture. They maybe have land and stuff that they can probably do agriculture and put that in the basis for them to get a cheaper rate on a vehicle. But it doesn't really have nothing to do with agriculture. What a Jeep doing in agriculture, brothers and sisters? Help me understand that.
My government that I elect to look into the cost of living.
So that's a Labourite right there. And he expects his government to actually do what the government is already supposed to do. And they should know what they need to do, but they're not doing it. Because so long Dominicans have been asking, where are the factories? Where are they? Where are the factories, brothers and sisters? No factories. We had factories below. We had factories galore before, brothers and sisters. And where are the factories today?
Okay? All these houses, that is important, that is necessary, yes, kudos. But you can give all that can be done.
Yeah, he's definitely Labourite. I think that's him right there. But you seeing it, at least he's waking up to see it. That is all I've been telling people, you know. That's all I've been telling people. Guys, even if the government might be building stuff and you see, oh, infrastructure and this, most times the infrastructure themselves is handled by foreigners. So most of the money goes to the foreigners. and maybe the government then collects a portion from them. It doesn't go to the local people. The local people have been asking and begging the government to give them some sort of assistance so they can be part of the construction industry. The people in the local people begging to be part of the construction industry, and they're not getting it.
And yet still, if people cannot eat, if
people cannot eat, you mentioned people cannot eat. They cannot even pay their student, their offspring's school fees. 174. You can't even miss it.
healthy enough that they can work to provide for their children, to send their children to school.
This is the first time I'm listening to this video, guys.
Then all those infrastructures, those things there is of no use.
None. He's right. It's of no use. You get to stay in a house. You don't have a proper job. Brothers and sisters, this is why I always compare individuals to having living wages and salaries. Living wages, you have money to save in the bank. You have money to invest. You have money to put aside for vacation. And you have your living day-to-day functions. With salaries, it's just survive. You pay off your bill. If you can pay off your bill this month and eat a food or something, then great. But you cannot just say, oh, let me put aside monies and this kind of things. The majority of individuals in Dominica can do this. They can't. Because they are not making living wages, brothers and sisters. They are making salaries.
It's like
NEP, really? NEP is the career path that Dominica has chosen? NEP?
It's almost like useless. Eating is the most essential thing in life.
And he's just mentioning one thing, guys. One thing is mentioning eating. But he also mentioned about school there, which is also, it's not just school, it's paying your bills, all those kind of things there, which you would be able to do if you had a proper living wage. This is why we're going back to this again, brothers and sisters. This is why this meeting is vital. You see, brothers and sisters, I have put this one together. I know somebody will tell me about this individual speaking about certain things and the citizens or whatever, blah, blah, blah. So I put this in the queue. And everything seems to be meshing up, brothers and sisters. Everything.
That is what will
so I know I'm the right path.
give you proper education and learning and skills and ambition, and will bring an economic.
And he will still go back and support the government, hoping. That's the thing with Labourites, brothers and sisters. They know what's happening, but they're going to hope for betterment, and betterment will never can come. But next election, they're going to hope that the government changes. That is what happens year in, year out. Year in, year out. I'm sure this was a recent one. I'm sure this was recent. Last election or whatever. Or the one before, 2019, whichever it is. And you've seen what is happening in Dominica. You've seen it. But he will definitely go back and vote for Skerrit.
Evolution. An economic evolution in the country.
He apparently doesn't seem to realize that Skerrit is not working for the people. Not. How is Skerrit working for the people? Skerrit keeps boasting about, CBI. We have seen the most investment in CBI, because they're building houses for people. Where are the factories? Where are the factories needed for agriculture? Why are farmers complaining about they not having proper feeder roads? Why? Why? How does that not elevate the people? When you do these things, you think you need to build houses for people when people have jobs and making living wages so they can put monies aside, go to the bank, they buy their land after working for 2 or 3 years. Buy land, brothers and sisters. I have people in St. Kitts that tell me they're going to buy land, and St. Kitts land expensive. Tell me they're going to buy land and organize themselves. There are Dominicans who are in St. Kitts today that have their own land and building their own houses. They couldn't do that in Dominica.
So I am calling on my government, please.
That is the problem that I have, brothers. He's calling on his government to make a change, and the government not going to do it, and he's still going to continue voting for them.
I cannot believe some kind of the prices like going in supermarket. No. So this is what I have to say.
Well, that's nice that you're saying that. That's very nice.
Fix, address those situations.
It's not address the situation anymore, sir. You need to get out Skerrit there. He had ample time for him to do it. Since 2004, Skerrit there. 2004, 20 years with Skerrit there. And I talking about in leadership position, you know. 20 years the man, they're not doing that, making things worse every year. And you asking now for him to try his best to do something about it, as if he is not part of the country. Or well, most likely that's another interesting. But he doesn't understand what is happening to the country. Why haven't factories been created? Why?
Once people can eat properly, you go Guadeloupe, you go anywhere, and people can eat. 10 euro making a big grocery, 20 euro making a big groceries for you.
He's right. And Guadeloupe expensive, you know. But he's right. Well, then again, a number of Dominicans tend to go Guadeloupe for them to do shopping so they can come and sell stuff in Dominica. So I guess it's not that expensive. But I'm making the comparison between Guadeloupe and France. Because when you understand what takes place between these two countries, you realize that what the prices that Guadeloupeans pay is much more expensive than the individuals who are paying in France. We went to France, brothers and sisters. France is a cheap place. It's cheap, brothers and sisters. So if Dominicans can leave Dominica to go Guadeloupe to get products so they can come back and sell in Dominica, then that says a lot. But of course, you know, Skerrit like to do things from time to time. Somebody made a statement on that very photo and asking where did Skerrit go? Apparently they did this on one Saturday, and after that Saturday was done, nothing else happened. Absolutely nothing else happened. They came the next Saturday to see where they go. Nowhere. They're not nowhere. It's all a facade, brothers and sisters. And of course, this is another point right there. Looking at how things are going in the economy, brothers and sisters. This individual store is closing down. Diamond KIDZ, I think they call it. And they are putting everything. They say everything must go. So clothes, shoes, belts, toys, perfume, watches, socks, bags, accessories, caps. They have everything there, brothers and sisters. 40, 50, 60% off store-wide. It's been our pleasure, they indicated to us, brothers and sisters. Our pleasure after 3 beautiful, fun years of serving you at Diamond KIDZ. We announce with a heavy heart that our last business day is April 6, 2024. Thank you for your support of our small business. It's been a pleasure. Please note, all boys clothing and accessories will be available Dynamic men's store. I guess that's where they put in some of the stuff. All girls accessories will be available at Diamond Girls Forever Shoes Store. So they have these number of places right there. I guess in there already closed down the store, and they send these things to a number of places. 40, 50, 60% all, brothers and sisters. Diamond KIDZ is closed down. So the 11th store for the year, brothers and sisters, in March will be has closed down. 11 businesses has closed down for the year already. All right. So we get the point, brothers and sisters. We get the point right there. Hopefully, I'm hoping that you guys get the point right there. This guy is seeing what needs to be done, but he's putting his faith in the wrong person. You need to get Skerrit out. He had 20 years. 20 years, you come in and ask the man to make a change as if he's going to make a change. 20 years. 20. That's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, mes amis. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 years. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 years, the man there. And you asking him, please, can you do something for the people? 20 years? Okay. All right then. Anyways, brothers and sisters, this is pretty much all it was for this year Brbptv Vibrations. Definitely give this video a thumbs up, brothers and sisters, and of course subscribe and turn on that post notification, helping the channel to grow when you subscribe, as well as you having the ability to be notified when I drop my videos right there and then. So, boy, Mr. Licks, once again, guys, be real. Don't forget to tune in for the next one. It'll be in the Mr. Licks, it'll be on Mr. Licks Reacts, and that link will be in the first comment in the comment box below as well, guys. Be real, guys.